Okay, so Skitsystem is the band, and the album is called Alt E Skit.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, this came out in what, 04, I think is what I saw.
Yes, it was like a what do you call it? A discography record of their early
Mm,
years. So Skid System continued after that point.
okay,
And they released the material up until I think maybe like a couple of years ago.
okay.
So they're still a band. It's just that was just like, all the releases between 2001 to 2004 or
You
whatever.
mean like Bullshit Detector Chapter 1? It's the
Kind of
same
like
thing,
that.
right?
Kind of
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Except with like 35 songs that all sound the same.
Right. Okay. Okay. Dude, you said it, bro.
Hey.
That is my main critique.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
I even called my wife in here,
You can't
and
tell
I
the
said,
difference
and
between one
I
song
said,
to the other.
hey, these bands are basically in the same genre. Which one do you think has like? I said, is one of them seem a little bit? What did I call it? Maybe I said stagnant or repetitive or something like that. And I played them both for a minute, and then she was like, I played them both, and then I played Tragedy was second, and then I played.
Mhm.
She goes, well, and then I played System again, and she goes, oh, now I hear it. Because
Yeah.
at first she wasn't sure. Then I went back
Right.
this one, back to that one, and she's like, oh, now I hear it. So yeah, that's my main critique is that after the like first 15 seconds of the song, almost every song has a very similar chord progression and a very similar drum pattern, and it's just like and the drums are just going duck 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 duck. There's very little like drum roll or like you know it's just like
Just
mostly
D
just
beat.
yeah,
Yeah.
like
It's straight
just
up D
straight
beat.
all the way through.
Um. So Skid System is a much rawer version of like tragedy, right? I
Right.
mean, it's kind of like if you like strip tragedy down to its bones, you get Skid System, and
Valid.
and you make it like way noisier, you know.
Right.
But tragedy was actually influenced by bands like Skid System a lot,
Oh, I don't
right?
doubt it. Don't doubt it
So
even a bit.
so tragedy, like we'll talk about tragedy
Yeah,
next,
yeah.
but they were part of that neo crust kind of movement. You know what I mean? That happened. Actually, they were probably like one of the first neo crust bands.
I was gonna say I think they were one of the earlier ones that developed
So
that like
you
yeah,
know,
'cause-
you could like Skid System, like their guitars are so tuned down and like metallic sounding with so much gain and distortion that like you can't even hear chords. It's like a melodic. Like there's no melody. It's just like they're
that's okay. So yeah, it is there is no melody to it, and I have become okay with the fact that I like music that has melody in it.
Mhm.
I don't really get behind stuff that is straight like even with metal. I think that's some of my problem with some metal stuff is that it's just like riff salad with a crazy drum beat all the way through it, and I'm like, okay,
Totally.
like if you give me some thrash stuff, they've got like a real fast part and then like a arpeggio sweep with a crazy little riff thing that you're like, oh, okay, it's really plain until this little part, but at
Yeah.
least it gives me some variance. And
I
I
think
think that Tragedy, again, we'll get to them in a minute, is like
right.
a natural evolution of a sound like this.
100%. Tragedy made this sound really accessible to people because they're
Yeah.
much more melodic. But I mean, not a lot of people love like Skid System or that type of music. I mean, if you like crust and that type of music, D beat, you gravitate toward that sound already to begin with. Like
Right.
you like noisy and raw stuff, that's what you're gonna get for 35 fucking minutes. You know what I mean? Straight. It's not gonna stop. So it's just like unrelenting. Even me at some point, I got like halfway through it. I was like walking my dog and I'm like, Jesus, man, I gotta like turn this down a little bit. Like this is just like assaulting me. And it's like just fuzzed out, noisy, kind of blown out, like the vocals. But it has an energy to it, which I really appreciate. And I really enjoy that record because it's just nasty. And I
It
like
is
nasty punk
nasty.
rock, you know. So
Here's how I feel about it. I'll be real honest. This might actually surprise you. I used to listen to like Wolf Brigade. I
yeah,
listened to Gizm a little bit, not as much.
that's
But
really noisy stuff. I'm surprised.
that's why I didn't listen to it as much. Well, you know how I've said recently, like the reason I don't like that stuff isn't because I don't like it. It's because I can't. It gives me a headache and it makes me clench my teeth.
Yeah.
It didn't used to do that. I'm 43, so when I was like in my mid to late 20s, I listened to His Hero Is Gone. I listened to
Yeah.
Wolf Brigade, Wolf Pack. I listened to Tragedy, Disclose. I listened because I got
Wow.
really, really deep into all this stuff. Like you would never even believe, dude. Like it would shock you the records I had in my collection because it was for like probably like 5 or 6 years. That's all I listened to because for this one short amount of time in Houston, like we'll get into this more later, but like Integrity got really big here,
Yeah. I
right?
know.
And then for like all the punk rock kids that liked Integrity, we discovered bands like Tragedy, and we were
Yeah.
like,
The
"Oh
crust.
no,
Yeah.
I like this. This is more my speed. Like I'll take Integrity,
Yeah.
but take all the tough guy shit out of it. And what do you get? You get Tragedy, and
Yeah.
it's
Pretty
like,
much.
oh, I want this. And so I had a lot of this stuff. The ones that got the most spins on the record player, though, were Tragedy, From Ashes Rise,
Yeah.
His Hero's Gone, got a lot of, and then I started listening to a little bit of thrash. Like I just have gotten a little older and reverted back into my old ways of listening
Yeah.
to the melodic punk rock. But this band, I used to have some Skid System stuff. I never got big into it, but I had some of it. I think it was a CD that I had. I don't think I had anything on vinyl.
Yeah.
It might have even been a cassette tape. I honestly don't remember because we
Mhm.
had tape decks in our cars still back then. But when I listened to it, I went back today and tried to give it another listen. I didn't make it all the way through the record because it's kind of long because it is a discography.
Yeah.
But I did listen to a big chunk of it again, and I gotta say, man, I enjoyed it more than I thought I was going to, and I think that this is not. I think Skid System is probably at like the middle point of what I think of when I think of some of the noisy stuff that you like. If you're looking at like the spectrum of stuff, and let's say Tragedy is the cleaner stuff,
Yeah.
I think Skid System is about midway down that, and then you get to some stuff. I think when you get a little bit noisier than this, is probably where I check out.
Yeah.
Because when I listen to it in my headphones, I almost couldn't really handle it, right? But I listened to it in my car today, and I was like, okay, I need to take it out of my headphones. And so I put it on in my house, like here with my stereo. I got a nice stereo. So when you add like an equalizer
Yep.
and a subwoofer in the corner of my room,
Hmm.
suddenly that white noise was just tempered a little bit. And so I
Yeah.
just turned it up pretty loud, and I was like, oh, I can listen to this. I just can't do it in headphones. So I think I'm figuring out like, oh, there's just
Hmm.
music that my ears are too old for if I listen to it like crammed in my shit like this.
Also, you mentioned you listen to this kind of music for fiber. You can get burned out on this stuff if you listen to it too much. Even
Oh,
I do.
I did. I just completely quit listening to it. Like I
It's.
just one day dropped it.
I mean, I mean, I go through phases where I listen to stuff, right? Like I'll get really into. I'll,
Yeah, me
I'll
too.
I'll get like really, really into like reggae for like fucking like a couple of months and listen to
Yeah.
almost nothing but reggae, and I'll just like fucking just be immersed. I'll get into nothing but like I don't know, core bands that I like, whatever I fucking hate that term, but whatever. Just
Yeah,
like,
but you know what it means though.
yeah, I know. It's for some reason I do, but
Because of me, probably.
no. I mean, I heard the term before. I was just
Okay,
like,
okay.
but then you're like, punknews.org. I'm like, what? Okay, all right, whatever. So whatever, like the more like poppy kind of stuff, melodic stuff. I'll get into hardcore for a while. So I have these phases where I go into things, but I come back around again at some point. So it's like I'll
Right.
cycle through different genres, and this is one of those genres I cycled through a lot. I play in a hardcore band like this too, a D-beat band. So it's like I'm around this kind of stuff a lot, and these guys rip. Like as musicians, they're fucking phenomenal. But it's hard to hear a lot of it if like you said, you have a good stereo, so you can kind of like equalize things and you can hear more of what's going on. Oh, there's the
But it
bass,
helps
there's the
give it a
guitar.
fuller, a more broad palette of
Yeah,
sound. You don't have to worry about it being just because some of the stuff that you're jamming when you request things, because you do give me a pretty big spectrum of stuff. But some of the more noisy stuff, I think they actually go through the process of putting noise in the music. I don't think that stuff's like brought through with guitar and amps. And if it is, it's some kind of weird thing that they're doing
hmm
because it's got like a layer of actual white noise. I cannot listen to that stuff. And the fucking annoying part is more than one of those songs that you've brought to the table. I'm like, well, I like the guitar riff. I can
yeah,
just barely hear it. And it's like,
yeah,
so I think I'm finding my comfort zone with this stuff. But I used to have a lot of this stuff on like physical media. I wish I still did, but some of it I lost through stupid reasons. Some of it I lost in the fucking flood. I mean,
Yeah.
but I don't know how much of this I had. I think I had one. I don't think it was this, but it might have been this CD, bro. It came out in 04. It was definitely sometime
Right.
around 05 or 6 when I was doing all this. But the
Yeah.
only ones that I kept through all the years was Tragedy and From Ashes Rise, which I think coincidentally are like the same band with different singers or something like that, right? Or maybe like they share members or something.
No, they don't actually at all.
Oh, they don't.
Yeah.
Oh man.
We'll get into them next. They're part of
Yeah.
like a family tree, but essentially like His Hero's Gone, From Ashes Rise, and Tragedy. They're all buddies.
Oh, maybe that's what it was then.
They all came from like Memphis and Nashville, and then they moved to Portland.
But yeah, of course they did. So where's Skitsystem from?
Sweden.
That's Swedish, what I thought. Okay, they're Swedish. So they sing in like half in English and half in what, Swedish?
Yeah, it's a lot of. I mean, you can fucking hardly hear what the guy's saying half the time, but it's a lot of Swedish. Like all the song names are Swedish, right? For the most part. But they're a bunch of like metal guys that ended up being in a D-beat band. So it's like death metal dudes, right, from Sweden, because Sweden, big death metal. Country.
What's that one band that I like from
At the Gates?
Yeah, that band's awesome.
So the singer of At the Gates was in Skitsystem for a while.
That's fucking wild. So
he was between like 2001 to like 2005. He was in Skitsystem, but he also had another side project other than At the Gates.
Huh.
Dysphere.
Oh yeah, I know Dysphere. So yeah, you told me that, and I was like, "What?" I had no idea.
Right? Yeah. So he was also the vocalist for that band as well, Tompa Lindbergh. So Skitsystem has been through a couple of different lineup changes, but in its infancy, it pretty much contained 2 members of At the Gates, and then
was Dysphere the one that I really didn't like much?
I think you'd like Dysphere.
I think I did. They're a little cleaner.
They're cleaner. Yeah, they're more melodic. Yeah, I think they'd fall more.
Japanese stuff really rocks my world, man.
Yeah, Japanese stuff.
I can't get into that stuff. It's way too noisy for me.
It's Japanese bands really take it to the next level with that shit.
Right, yeah. I got respect for this stuff, man. People just think I don't because I get grumpy when we stream for 3 hours.
Well, it's late, you've had a long day. You want to hear music that you can actually chill and relax to. I get it.
That is actually something I never really thought about much. But yeah, I usually get home and I'm like already tired before we even start. But I love this shit. You notice that Wednesdays are always the nights where I can go the longest and I have the most.
I've noticed that.
It's because on Wednesday I'm here. I'm not at my shop all day.
Also on Friday nights you tend to go pretty late too.
Yeah, Fridays when people are having a good time. Weekends just starting. I'm usually not near as tired. Sundays are hard. Sundays are the hardest because I'm usually the most tired. I've worked all weekend, but it's all good though, man. I'm grateful to have the opportunity to do it at all. So,
hell yeah, and we are grateful for you.
What is Sorry, what were you gonna say?
No, I was just gonna mention that this band. I was trying to look stuff up about them earlier, and they're just one of those Swedish bands that just kind of stuck around for a long time, and they follow suit with like Anti-Cimex and all those other bands that came from
That's another band I used to like a little bit.
Yeah
So yeah, I used to like a lot more of this stuff when I was younger, and also I think when you're younger this stuff appeals to you more anyways. All that chaotic shit when you're young, you need that stuff. Well, at least when you're one of us, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I remember very much being in my early 20s, and not only did I like this stuff more, but I was into more hardcore bands too. Like I wanted to hear like I think if I'd have been like 19 when Knock Loose dropped, I'd probably be like maybe not like a big fan, but I'd like them okay. Because I used to love Integrity. I used to love Hatebreed. I still do. I still love Integrity and Hatebreed. I love Terror. The one that always blows people away is that I like Gulch so much. I don't even know how that happened, bro. I love that band.
Yeah, Gulch. Those guys are from around here. I told you they're in like an oi band now.
That's so awesome and weird.
Basilica Ruin. They're pretty good. We played with them one time.
Oh shit, dude! I need to write that down. I knew that, man.
Yeah. But they haven't released anything. It was really weird. Like we played one show with those guys in a basement in San Francisco, and it was the dude from Gulch, like the singer with bald head guy.
You're like, wait a minute, what are you doing here?
Yeah, and it was a fucking just oi band. I mean, but it was like dirty, like nasty oi stuff,
I feel that though. Hey, that's even more. That's like mixing our two worlds. I'll take it.
Yeah. It was like more like hardcore oi.
Okay, like good Tommy's band.
Slugger.
Thank you. Yes, Slugger. My brain just went, but
Yeah, maybe I would say yeah, that's accurate. Yeah, like Slugger.
Dude,
Yeah,
shout out Slugger, bro. Every time I get an
yeah,
opportunity, dude, I love those guys. Tommy's awesome.
yeah, yeah.
The whole
They're
band's
a good
cool,
band.
and I think it's funny they've gotten to be around me enough now to where like even the other guys in the band kind of go, "Oh, what's up, man? I know you," and
That's
so
cool.
it's cool, man. They're all super nice dudes. I love it when
um,
like big tough guys you see them, they go, "Oh, hey man, what's up?" It's it's
yeah,
it's
it
it's
was funny
fun.
when I went to go see Steve Obsidian's band play.
Rally
Um,
Cry, shout out Rally
Rally
Cry.
Cry. I drove like an hour and a half to go see that fool, and he drove 4 hours, and then he drove 4 hours home that night too,
That's
back to Bakersfield
fucking retarded.
because his kid's birthday was the next day.
Oh man, good on him, dude.
Yeah, no,
That's.
he's a really good man. I really enjoyed seeing him,
I
and
was super jelly. Y'all
but
got to hang out. I was like, come on, man.
no, but it was crazy just being around like a skinhead scene.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't see that very often. And you're like, oh, where the fuck these people come from all of a sudden?
Isn't it
Like,
weird?
yeah, and then you go to like a show and there's like a bunch of skinheads. You're like, what? I don't see you like in everyday life, like walking around. Like,
I went to
interesting.
who did I go see that was like that? You know what? Violent Way played here, and I was like, and there was like I don't know, 70% of the crowd were people I had never seen, but they were all
Right.
like very clearly skinhead dudes, and then most of them were wearing like sharp buttons and stuff, and there was a
Yeah,
bunch of like mixed bag of folks. Like there was black dudes, white dudes,
yeah, it's
Asian
cool.
cats, like
I like that.
Dude, Houston's got a pretty diverse skinhead crowd. I like it, man. And then like early 2000s and late 90s, I didn't recognize that as much, but now it's super diverse, man. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, like two of our more I don't know what the word is, prominent, I guess, like more like always around people. They're both black, and I think that's awesome because
Hell yeah.
anytime anybody has some smart ass shit to say, I can go, no, dude, like, could you just pay attention?
Right.
But
Exactly.
somebody
But
told me the other day, just tell people that have questions, say, no, man, skinhead wouldn't even exist without like Jamaica. And I'm like, oh, that's such an easy way to explain it. Like,
yeah,
uh,
yeah. Normally people
skin
don't get
system
it.
though.
Yeah, Skitsystem. Back to
Bro.
Skitsystem.
So
That's really pretty much it. You know.
yeah, I mean, what? So okay, how many albums do they have out? Do you know?
Oh, jeez. I mean,
Is it a
this
whole
is
bunch of shit? Do they do like all these other bands like this? Do they release a bunch of 7 inches?
they're just okay. Okay, I can tell you they have 1, 2, 3 full-length albums.
Okay, that's more than I
They
thought.
have 3 EPs, and they have 3 splits.
No,
So
that sounds about like that sounds exactly like what a D beat band would have, or a
yeah,
crust band, whatever you want to call it.
but it's
What? Hey,
crazy.
look, dude, how hard is it to decipher the difference between the two? Because I can't.
Crust punk is. I mean, D beat. There's a very specific beat that's being played.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
D beat.
aware, but like, man, most crust punk bands, at least now, modern ones, they have that same beat going through most of their songs.
Sort of. A lot of crust punk bands can just be kind of like more chaotic without the D beat.
Give me an example of one, not for argument, not for like argumentative reasons, just like so I can understand what the fuck you're
Look,
talking about.
let me think of a crust punk band that's not a D beat band.
Okay, is Phil the
Um,
crust band?
yeah, I would consider Filth a crust band.
Okay.
Yeah,
What
it's more like
about
an aesthetic. Leftover Crack kind of made crust really accessible,
yeah, they did. Okay.
right?
Yeah, because
Or
I guess
Choking
crust,
Victim, stuff like
yeah,
that.
like crust punk also kind of bleeds into folk punk too a little bit.
It can.
It
Yeah,
does. It does a lot because it's like those guys are poor and they just buy acoustic guitars instead of a fucking amp.
yeah.
Uh,
It just falls into different kind of umbrellas.
yeah,
D
well, that's
beat
what I'm
is
saying.
like one subsect or genre of crust, I guess you could say.
So I guess all the bands that have the discharge font, those are all D beat bands.
Oh, for sure. It's crazy that
Tragedies
they all
D
do stuff.
beat,
Yeah.
From Ashes Rise. Yeah, it's just like it really it gets confusing when you get into the older ones because they all
I would
have like
say,
real lo-fi recordings, especially with like Crust and DB. They all have
yeah.
very bad not bad, lo-fi recordings.
A lot of times they do, yeah, yeah. That's why when you hear bands, I wouldn't say Skitsystem had a lo-fi recording. Um, I
Yeah.
actually think their recordings are pretty good, for
This
the
one
most
was this
part.
one was better than I expected it to be, and especially when I heard it on the stereo. Like outside of the headphones, uh I thought it was actually a little I thought I was a little bit taken aback by the lack of white noise and very, very grateful for the lack
Yeah,
of it.
no, totally. I was like, damn, I don't know how Randall's gonna make it through this record.
The headphones were
But
hard, but and the first time I listened to it, I listened to the whole thing with the headphones on. And I told you I said it had me grinding my teeth. That's when. So like I think the key to that kind of music is just doing it on a
yeah,
different speaker. The car
yeah,
didn't sound good, but sometimes the cars just don't sound good.
it depends on the car system too. like the stereo that you have.
Oh, there's so many different things that come into play with that, like the band, the
Yeah.
recording, the mastering sometimes. But
Do you remember back in the day on computers, there's the Winamp little equalizer?
no, dude, I didn't used to have a computer because I was poor. I didn't have a
Okay.
computer until I was like, I was probably my very first computer. I was probably 25, and then my first like decent one was probably like less than 10 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, I had like smartphones kind of early on because I worked for Sprint, but I didn't have.
So back in the day, a lot of it's like what do you call it? A plugin. So back in the day on like Windows computers, you could get this plugin called Winamp, and it was like a 16 band EQ essentially.
Yo, that's tight.
So you could like all the shit that you were listening to, you can fucking
Like mess
mix
with
it
it.
yourself.
Oh,
Yourself,
dude,
yeah.
I think everything should have that. I can't believe phones don't have that. It
Is that,
blows my mind.
I love that. Yeah, yeah. So I used to fuck with that all the time on my dad's computer, but
Yo, I wonder if I have a equalizer in my Play Store.
you might. I mean, you got a Android, right? So you can.
I do, yeah.
All right. So
yeah, okay. On a scale of 1 to 10, how do you rank this Skitsystem compilation?
well,
Because this is your shit, so I want to know what you think about it.
I really like this band a lot. I got to be in the mood to listen to it, of course.
Yeah.
You know, this isn't the kind of stuff you just like throw on like a Sunday morning. You know what I mean? Unless you're like in some kind of mood.
Yeah, not unless you're some kind of psycho.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if you want to get, it's just the energy. It's just really edgy and abrasive. But I think it's great. I think for what they do, that's why I picked this record. I couldn't think of another D-beat album that I really like know that well, because I wouldn't even consider myself a D-beat connoisseur necessarily, you know.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'll give it an 8. I'm not giving it a 10 because like, you know, there's not a lot of
It doesn't
variety.
have enough guitar work to get a 10 out of me.
It's just-
No.
yeah.
I need like guitar leads and like no album out there will get a 10 if it doesn't
Yeah.
have like guitar
Nah,
leads.
you're not kidding.
It might get a 9.5 or 9.7 even, but not a 10, dude. 10s are like they have everything I want, and then also a great guitar player that does like really good. I don't need like crazy Megadeth shit in there. I just need like a good like rock and roll. I like that sound. It sounds awesome to me. It makes
Yeah,
me
you're
wanna
not going to
fucking-
get any rock and roll out of these guys.
shit, no. Or if
But
you do, this is like the rock and roll in its like most pure form, honestly.
it's just the guitars are tuned down, so it's like you're not going to get like your typical melodies and chord
Right.
progressions, you know. But I think for what it does, when I listen to music, I'm looking for like an effect, you know. I want it to hit in a certain way, and it scratches that itch for me. That's why I'm giving it an 8, you know.
I actually give it a 7.5, so we're not
It's
far
effective.
off.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, the only reason I don't go any higher, there's 2 reasons. One, because it's a little bit long for me, and 2, because of the lack of like intricate guitar work, which it is what it is, man. But listen to this. My notes, I wrote these notes like almost a week ago.
All right.
My opinion has changed a little bit since then, but it's
hear
this. My whole entire notes, it just says this. Terrible drummer. The guitar is too muddy and never changes at all. But great bass tone though.
Wow.
That's all I wrote. I stand behind the guitar is too muddy and never changes statement. I think the drummer got caught some strays for some reason. I don't really know why. But I also put down tracks 2, 5, 11, 18, and 19. So those must have stuck out to me.
Okay.
As like
All
the
right.
ones I like the most. So I think that's cool that I had some tracks to point out, honestly.
Yeah, I'm like, I was gonna like just like fuck with you and ask you. So which ones did you like the most?
How fucked would it have been if you'd asked that and I'd had an answer for you? You'd have been like, oh shit.
You're like, well, like Murar Machtens Rasmar, Bob.
Oh, that's awesome.
Or whatever the fuck. Because you know what the funny thing is to me? Sometimes the funniest thing is when I request music from like other countries, you're like, I'm not even gonna fucking try to say that, dude.
Bro, I tried a couple times. I was like, all I'm gonna do is butcher
Right.
this and make these people feel bad. So I'll just be respectful. I'll be respectful and go, this band. Look at the picture, guys.
No, I get it. I couldn't even tell you what I mean. This album.
I had more songs to pick out than you did. That's fucked up.
It's just like I don't really listen to this record as a like I'm gonna pick this song right now, you know. I'm more like, okay, I'm feeling some kind of way. I'm just gonna let this play for 30 minutes, you know. So
Do you ever do that, but start it like in the middle so you don't hear the same fucking 10 songs every time?
I'll just I definitely like fast forward,
Yeah.
definitely. So okay, let's see.
Sometimes I'll play an album on the B side first,
Yeah,
just to mix it up a little bit.
right. Yeah, you get a different so standout songs, 1, 2, 4, um,
People are
5.
like, yeah, what are these songs called, guys? Did you say 1, 2, 4, and 5? Stop it, dude. 1
I
through 5.
I did 1, 2, 4, 5. I did. I fucking I don't want to say these words, man.
No, but I'm just saying, like you said 1, 2, 4, and 5.
Slaves.
Just say
Yeah.
1 through 5. Like
1 through 5. 1 through 5, man. And then fucking 5 through 19.
yeah, I was like, he's like, the whole album's pretty solid, man.
It is.
But I'll
It
just
is.
tell you, it's one. I like 19, 18,
Fuck
17. But
number
then I
4. Number 4 can suck a dick.
yeah, I like 1, 2, 5, 4, and 3. I like 19, 18.
Hey,
I like 15, 16, 17. You know, like,
yeah,
wait a minute, is this guy just saying all the numbers out of order? Like maybe I am.
yeah. I'm just. I wish I had more to say about this record, man.
Oh, dude, stuff like this, there's not much to say. I mean, let's be honest about it. When you get an album like this, it's like, hey, do I like it? Yeah. Okay. Well, what do I like about it? Here's what I like about it. Hey, what
Yeah,
are these guys from? They're from here. Hey, what else do you know about them? Not much. Cool. I mean, it's
right.
I'll say what I said in the other video with Rob in this video too. I don't know a lot about this band. We're covering this album because Nitty picked it.
Yeah,
Um,
I did.
I enjoyed it much more than I thought I was going to, probably much more than you thought I was going to.
Yeah,
So if
you
you're a
surprised me.
fan of this stuff, instead of crapping on us, or me specifically, which is usually I'm the target, like just tell us what's up. Like, what's up with this band? What do
Yeah.
you like about this band? What are they known for? Is there something that they did that I didn't know about? Like, I didn't go do a bunch of research to talk about it one album. I just listened to the record and we're talking about it. So if
Hmm,
you're a fan of the band, by all means, dude, let us know some shit, dude. Let
Yes,
me know
I
what's up with
dude.
Skitsystem.
Give me some education on this band because the internet only tells me so
I
much.
mean, just because you picked that album doesn't mean fuck all, dude. You might just
I
picked
know.
it because you liked it. Like, who cares? You may not know a lot
Yeah.
about it, but this is a community. Let's be a community.
Well,
Tell
the
us about
reason
the
I picked
album.
this record was because a friend gave me a bunch of CDs in a box one day, just a box of CDs. And I pulled this out randomly. I'm like, what the fuck is this? It's got a weird cover. And I put it on and I'm like, whoa, this is actually pretty cool.
I
So
mean,
that's the
that's how
story.
I think that's how we discover a lot of stuff, though. Like just as music fans,
Hmm.
like I mean,
Yeah.
when that guy gave me the box of tapes, I don't know if I told you this before, but I was at a record store and I was looking. I was just in there and I
Mhm.
had a skateboard. I was young, dude. I was probably 15 or 16. It was right when I started listening to punk. Probably 15. I might have even been 14. It was like mid 90s, dude. And Rancid Out Come the Wolves had come out. I had it on cassette tape. And so this guy comes in and he's like this dude, like tall, very tattooed punk guy. But this isn't like the 90s, bro.
Yeah.
Like tattoos were like they weren't all prisoners anymore. But if you had like neck tattoos, you were looked at as like, okay, that guy's probably up to something, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so he walks in and he smells like cigarettes. He's got tattoos. He's got this big box. And he's like, yo, whatever, to the guy that works there. He's like, I brought some stuff for you. And the guy's like, all right, I'll come up there in a second or whatever. And back then you could sell tapes just like you can vinyl now, right?
Yep. Yep.
And so I'm standing there and I'm looking. I'll never forget it. It was at Diamond Head Records. It's on Louetta out in Houston or Spring. If anybody knows if anybody's from here, it was Diamond Head Records. Tell me if you remember this place. It was an awesome record store. So I'm standing there and I think I might have had my skateboard with me and I had on like a t-shirt and shorts or whatever. This guy's like, he's looking at me and I'm in the punk section, which is only like, 5 rows of CDs and those little plastic anti-theft things. And
Yeah.
I'm flipping through them.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, he's like, what's up, kid? And I was like, and I'm all nervous. And he's like, he starts laughing. He's like, what are you doing over here? And I'm like, I'm just looking at stuff. And he's like, yeah, what do you like? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, bro, I don't have a
Yeah.
clue what you're asking me right now.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
intimidated. And he's like looking, and I'm not a very tall person anyways, but this dude was real tall. And I said, I like Rancid. And he goes, yeah, what do you know about Rancid? And I was like, I don't know. I like this. And I pulled out Out Come the Wolves. And he goes, it's a pretty good record, man. He goes, have you heard their old stuff? And I was like, I don't know what to
Oh,
say. I was like,
nice. He put you up on game.
bro. So I said, I heard the red cover one. And he goes, yeah. I said, my friend gave me a tape with it. And he goes, okay, it's called Let's Go or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And then he has this box and he's like, Dude, I wish I could do this for somebody. I've done similar things, but this changed my life, man. He's looking at this box and he's like, hey, can I give these to this kid? And the guy's like, man, I don't care, that your tapes. And then he goes, all right. And he digs around in the box for a minute and he pulls out a tape and he sticks it in his shirt pocket. And he goes, here, man. And he goes, take these home. You live far? And I was like, no, I can walk home. He goes, all right, man, take them home. And he hands me this box and I'm looking at it and it's like mostly like tapes with the artwork. Like he was definitely going to get some money for this.
Yeah.
And like he just gave it to me. Dude, it was probably 30 tapes. Dude, it was a big ass box of tapes.
What was in there?
And, dude, self-titled Rancid, Bad Religion, All Ages, fucking bro, Pennywise, Full Circle, all this Epitaph stuff. But there was also shit like there was a Crass tape in there. There was a Dead Kennedys tape was in there.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he had. I think that's where I first got my copy of the Minor Threat tape.
There you go.
And there was
man.
Black Flag was in there. It was like a starter kit, bro. I felt like he probably had gotten into some deeper stuff and was like, here's the surface level shit. I'll go sell this stuff, you know?
Totally.
He just gave it to me, man. And like some of it I didn't care for. I never really got into Black Flag like that. Minor Threat, I took to immediately. The first Rancid record I fell in love with for a few years. For a few years, that's all I listened to. I thought, oh, this is the real like grimy shit. And I didn't know, I didn't know what D beat was. I didn't know what Discharge was back then.
Yeah.
And dude, it was awesome, man. He came in and he gave me all these fucking tapes, man. And like he was such a rad dude. But like there's a few things in my life that I wish I still had. Those tapes is one of them. But I also was given a tape when I was like 14. And it just said, I think it just said punk fucking rock written on it with like a ballpoint pen on the little white sticker label.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all it said. The other side had nothing on it. And it was a gray, might have been a TDK tape, I think. And it was just written on there, punk rock or punk fucking rock or something like that. And I listened to it forever, dude. Yeah. And it comes to find my friend's brother-in-law or stepbrother gave it to him. And my buddy didn't like punk much. And his brother was like a skater guy. And he was like, here, man, you like this stuff. And he's like, here, I got, or I think he might have got a CD player or something. But he gave me this tape. And it was a 90-minute tape. And it was Mr. T Experience, The Queers, and I think it had Screeching Weasel on one side. And on the other side, it was Less Than Jake, Operation Ivy, and I can't remember the other band. Some old-ass ska band from like I don't know, 98. Maybe I was 15 when he gave me that. I'm trying to think of what year it was. I don't fucking remember. Anyways, that tape, it didn't have a label on it, but I just listened to it. So that's how I heard some of those bands. I didn't even know I liked those bands until years later. I heard them again, and I was like, oh, shit, I know this song. Yeah. It was on that tape that guy gave me. Yeah. And I wish I had that tape still. But I had a big box of cassette tapes that I gave to my sister. And it's crazy, too, because I gave them to my sister. She then gave them to our brother. He took them to Chicago and gave them to their cousin. That dude took those tapes, became like a punk rock fanatic, and he's now currently, right now, this is like 30 years ago almost, dude. He's right now a full-time like punk rock musician, bro. That's all he does. Like through me giving this shit to them and them going out of town, he never would have heard this shit if it wasn't for me getting them from these other people. It's cool how this stuff works, man.
Yeah, that's how shit. It's magic. It's magical,
dude. The fucking power of a mixtape, bro. People don't even understand.
And you like remember those tapes. It's like these stupid little tapes that you get. Like, I know we're getting off subject here, but we'll go to tragedy in a second. You know, Adam Welch was this kid, like punk kid that was like a grade older than me. And I asked if I could borrow his jacket to go to my first like local punk show, you know, because he had, you know, patches on his shit.
Oh yeah. I already knew.
I'm like, bro, like, can I borrow your jacket? And he's like, this is my jacket. Like, what? Why? You know? But you know, finally,
I'm trying to get laid, man.
Nah, he wasn't getting laid anytime soon.
No, I said you were.
I mean, I was just trying to be cool. I want to go to the punk rock show, you know. And
right.
I remember that he sighed. He took off his jacket. He's like, just bring it back tomorrow. It's like a corduroy jacket, you know.
Oh yeah.
And then he gave me a tape with Rancid, self-titled, the first album on one side, and AFI, Very Proud of You on the other side.
Now that is a cassette tape, sir.
And both East Bay bands. I'm from the Bay Area. That was like a time for me. I must have been 15, around the same age as you at that point in my life. So I get
That's
it.
awesome.
And you don't forget about those tapes, and every once in a while I'll kind of like go to my folks' house and like I'll dig through shit trying to find
Man,
stuff. And, like,
I wish I had that.
it.
So this is what I'm gonna do for somebody that's watching this video right now. Somebody that's watching it, the first person that emails me is going to get a response from me. I've got this tape right here, right? It is a blank cassette. It is not even opened yet. It is completely solid black. I got these for a specific reason. The reason never came to fruition, but I do have ways to make mixtapes still. I'm going to make a mixtape and I'm going to send it to somebody. Yeah, that's that. There's nothing else to it. I'm just going to make a fucking dope tape and send it to somebody.
Yeah.
So email me if you want this. And just as long as you're in the US, so it's not $75 to ship it to you, I'll make it and send it to you.
It's going to be Andrew. Watch.
Fucking Andrew. I'll throw it in the box, buddy. You know what, dude? Okay. This is how fucking awesome I am. Check this out. Real talk, motherfucker. Mixtape.
I can't. It's all blurry. Oh, Career Criminal. Oh shit. Okay, here we go. Nice.
Guess who that's for?
I know that's for.
It's fucking Andrew.
Yeah. He
made that shit for him like about 3 or 4 weeks ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not even kidding. People think I'm bullshitting, bro. I still make tapes, bro. I fuck around, do this shit all day.
I love that. All right, should we move on to tragedy?
Never. No, we should talk about Rancid some more. Because that's what they're here for. If they saw Skitsystem in the title, yeah. They're probably like, we done turned this shit off. Okay.
I'm ready for the comments. What do you mean you don't know about Skitsystem, the greatest D-beat band to come out of Gothenburg, Sweden?
Well, you'll probably not read those. I will, and then I'll feel bad about myself. It's okay.
Nah, don't feel bad about yourself, man.
I don't give a shit. People can fucking eat a fat wiener if they want to.